Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. In this episode, let's talk about a word that often we don't talk about, and that word is discouragement. Yes, let's talk about discouragement and the power that discouragement has in the artist's life and in the art career.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Hey, my friends, super happy to be here today. I want to talk to you about a story that I read in a book by Joshua Metcalf. In this book that is called Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's a book that I'm reading right now, which is all about loving the process. It's not an art book, but it's still a good book, how to kind of learn to love the process. And there's a story inside the book, which I thought was fascinating and really made me think about discouragement, because I get to talk to a lot of artists who are discouraged, discouraged because of the economy right now, or discouraged because, they don't have enough sales, or they don't understand marketing, or they are frustrated with Instagram, or discouraged because, things are not going the way they wish they were going. The list can go on. And maybe you listening right now to this episode, you may have some level of discouragement. So I want to talk to you about it, and of course provide some ways in which we can get out of it. We can get back on track. We can get back excited for our career. So this is the story of a witch. So there was this old witch, like a very, very old witch, and she had all these tools for, different types of things that she could cause on a person, right? She had all these tools in her kind of in her room, and she was kind of like too old for being a witch, and so she was kind of like retiring. So she put a garage sale kind of thing, and a lot of people came and purchased all the things that she had available, and like to do magic and stuff. But there was like this old tool that this man comes and says, "Oh, I wanna buy this," and she's like, "No, this one is not for sale. This one I'm gonna keep." And the guy's like, "Oh, but why? What does it do?" It's like, "Oh, I cannot tell you, but this one I wanna keep." So she keeps it. Time passes by, and as she's like super getting old, her niece comes to visit, and she goes to see the witch, the old witch, and asks, "Why did you get rid of all the tools that you had? I didn't even get to pick one. Why you get rid of everything?" And the witch said, "Well, I actually kept one for you, and it's the most important, the best one." And she gives her the tool, this object, and she looks at it. The niece looks at it like, "This is the oldest thing. Why would I want this? This looks like crap." And the witch goes on to say, "Well, this tool is the most powerful of them all, because this tool, when you use it, it gives the person discouragement. And when a person is discouraged, no matter what opportunities may ahead, no matter what circumstances may be ahead, no matter what, when you have discouragement in your heart, in your soul, that's it. You're done. You don't take action." And that's, simple story, but how true it is, that when you start to get discouraged, you stop taking action because you anticipate that the result of whatever you do is going to be a negative one. And perhaps it may be because of, past trauma, past experiences, past hurt that we have gone through as artists in our career, that this may be true to us to a certain degree. But discouragement, when it sets in, we start to kind of have this pattern of negativity where, "Oh, I don't want to do this or that because, it's not going to go right. Why make another Instagram reel when nobody's watching my reels? Nobody follows me. I don't get any new followers. Why would I, start a new body of work when all this art is just piling up in my closet and nobody cares for it," right? That's when we really go into a dark place of discouragement, that no matter, how the circumstances may be ready for change, as long as you're discouraged, you're not going to change. You're not going to do what you can to pull yourself up and get out of that situation, of that mentality, of that pattern that continues to tell you, all these lies. So I think we all have been there. I'm sure you have been there at some point. Maybe you may be there right now. And discouragement comes in different levels, in different degrees. You can be discouraged just about a certain thing within your art practice or your art career, but really not affecting other things. While other times you may be discouraged about the whole thing. This art career, this art studio, this art thing, it's just not for me. It's just bad. I hate it all. That could be a higher level of discouragement. And so it comes in different sizes and it comes at different times. You get some opportunities and all of a sudden seems like, wow, big opportunities are coming my way. Then when the opposite happens, it's like, I don't get any opportunities. What's going on? That is when discouragement, begins to give birth in our heart, to this negativity. So in my own career, I have lived it as well. I have been discouraged. I remember, many years ago when, for example, one of the big ones for me was when I got sick and really sick. Recently, I shared an episode with my friend Nicole Curie. We talk about Meniere's disease, and I went through that, some 18 years ago. When it first hit me, I was out of the studio for like 6 months. I couldn't make art for almost a year, and it took me a long time to get back at it because I was getting dizzy, I had vertigo, and all kinds of other stuff. So, I was going through it. I was really discouraged. I was super incredibly discouraged about my art. I was feeling like everybody's going ahead, everybody's pulling forward. I'm just kind of like day by day, I'm pulling backwards. I'm walking back instead of walking forward. And it was really hard, really, really difficult. And in those times, something that really helped me, of course, was the support of my family. They were here. My wife was very supportive. My kids were small. My daughter was like 1 year old. So, but, and my son was, I think, like 5. So all they wanted to do was play. But my wife was very supportive. My friends were supportive, which that helped me, being part of a community that was supportive. That was really good. I remember like sometimes I would go to an opening because we still had the gallery with us. We were already running the gallery. It was just like maybe 2 years old or 3 years old, the gallery. And I remember like being at an opening when all of a sudden this vertigo attack started. My head started spinning, my whole world spinning. I could not walk, and my friends, from at the gallery had to take me home. They actually had to not carry me literally, but had to put my arms in their shoulders as we went from the 4th floor of the building to the 1st floor. Then took me to their car, and one of them drove me home because I just couldn't. I just couldn't take 2 steps, otherwise I would fall in the ground. So that was debilitating and frustrating and very discouraging because I didn't see a way out. But I kept my faith. I'm a man of faith. I had always a strong faith in God mainly, that everything that happens, in this life, there's going to be an outcome on the other side. It's going to be always something positive. And that idea always kind of kept reminding me, right, of that. I remember like sometimes I would be home, like totally discouraged, and I would just go in my basement and put music that, reminded me of that, right? Reminded me of my faith and the promise I had, that it was going to be okay on the other side. And those are the things that helped me out, first reaching out to my inner circle, my loved ones, my family, then my friends, who were part of my community. So, for their support, and then looking for external support, which in this case for me, again, was my faith, and also the music that helped me out, to go in these transitions. Specifically the music because of the words of positivity that were said in the songs that I specifically was listening to. There was specifically one song that I probably listened to it like 1,000 times, and it was about faithfulness, God being faithful. So that helped me to eventually get out on the other side. And I never look back, even though I still to this day, I struggle with, many years. I never look back with, oh, I wish this never happened. I wish, whatever. I wish I had not lost an entire year of my career. I would be more ahead. It's part of life, right? It's part of what we all go through in life. We go through these challenges that, because we are human, we get discouraged. And sometimes, discouragement could be, like I said, a health situation sometimes could be something that people cause you, or external circumstances, or even the outer world was not good for you or to you in some way. And, it could be very difficult to overcome those things. But I'm here, my friend, to tell you whatever you're going through right now, that level of discouragement, maybe it's just little or it's big, to remember that we need to get into a positive pattern. We need to reframe our mindset into positivity, right? And that's the key. You need to get out of that train of negative thinking and jump to the train of positive thinking, right? So you can go on the ride of getting better, feeling better about yourself, feeling better about the future, really believing that there are opportunities for you on the other side. And I'm always, thinking and reminding myself that, what, Sergio, you may be just one email away from one great opportunity, one phone call away, one visit, to a gallery for, that may trigger something that may open new opportunities for me, new ideas. You never know. One more book to read that it's going to, change many things, because that's the reality. As I go through life and as I continue to seek these things, sometimes it's just that one email that you send last minute before you go to bed that in the other day you get the yes that you've been looking for, right? Or the opportunity that somebody wants to give you. So as if I was discouraged and I never send that email, I would never get that opportunity, right? So those are the things that we need to, get back into that positivity mindset. And for that, my friend, I want to highly, highly, highly recommend, the book that Dr. Yanina Gomez just released recently, which you probably heard of. Maybe you already have it, but if you haven't, make sure you get it. It's called Today's Working Artist. In this book of Today's Working Artist, every week she gives us a short reading to help you, with your mindset, with positivity, with overcome negative thinking patterns, etc. Every week is a different reading, and every month is a different topic. So it's a book that will last you for the entire year, and then you can read it again, because every year you have different mindset, things happening, different mindset ideas and circumstances. So check it out. It's called Today's Working Artist by Dr. Yanina Gomez. And you can find it in Amazon and wherever books are sold. But anyway, this podcast is not an ad for the book, but it's about, overcoming discouragement. Another way that really helps when it comes to discouragement is, having gratitude and having a gratitude journal. This is something that I have practiced to different times in my career, where you sit down every night, take your sketchbook or a notepad, and just write down, what are you thankful for that day? Could be something as simple as, because I did a couple sketches, or because I had the time to clean up the studio, or because, whatever, I'm just breathing today's air, right? There are always things to be thankful for. Look at the work that you have done in the past, look at the art that you have created that had make you happy, that have given you great opportunities, great ideas. Look back at that, be thankful for those things. And again, that practice of gratitude will also help you overcome any negative patterns that you may have, or any discouragement that you may be experiencing right now. So this is it, my friends. All I wanted to share with you today. Hope you enjoy this podcast. Do me a big favor, share it with your friends, because you never know when somebody else may also be going through a discouragement moment right now. And I will see you at the next level.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.